pregame show to help them get to the championship game. He was unbelievable, putting on a show from outside, from inside, and everywhere in between, helping his team get to the championship game. Then, last night, overtime, Bello. Air ball on the 3 to win it. Last shot, OT, Brown, no. And then, in double overtime, Raekwon battled the play he called himself. The alley-oop dunk. And Montana State is back in the championship game. Northern Arizona, if they were to win tonight, they would have the lowest NCAA tournament bid based on win percentage. The lowest win percentage in the history of an NCAA tournament participant. And NAU has the ball first.
Well, I think it's important for NAU to get off to a good start, Tony, just for confidence. They've been playing, like I said, like a brand new team than what they were even a week ago. But they're playing the team that was picked to win the Big Sky this year and has been here for 3 straight seasons.
Starts with a turnover. Darius Brown, 2-0 Bobcats.
I talked about the Bobcats being here for 3 straight years, but they played 50 minutes of basketball less than 24 hours ago, Tony. That fatigue may offset their experience.
Take a look at the starting lineups. Xavier Fuller, big again yesterday, but his defense was as big as anything. Another turnover, 2 to get things started here for the Lumberjacks. Battle right to the rack.
Raekwon Battle, the hero last night, first team all-conference. He had 17 points, but Tony, it took him 22 shots to get to 17. That was nothing short of a fist fight last night for 50 minutes.
Maine's no good here. We saw it last year on this championship stage. The experience for Montana State paid off big with the very start of the game. Timeout, Montana State. Take a look at Coach Shane Burkar. This is a guy who kept his team believing the entire way. As his team has lost 9 in a row to Montana State. We'll take a look at his road to this championship game. And it's been an interesting one as we talk about 10 of 13 conference losses decided by 5 or less. We'll be right back.
When it's tournament time, we don't go big, we go bigger.
The XFL gets you closer to football than ever before.
Coach Oz, aloha. That's sail on 1.
Join me for the least athletic event of the year, the Oscars.
Who will triumph?
Championship Saturday begins tonight at 6, then continues tomorrow on ESPN.
As we bring you back to the Big Sky Championship game, Danny Sprinkle, 4th season as head coach at Montana State. The 4 years and that win percentage, the 2nd highest in a 4-year span in program history.
They're 24-9 right now. They went 27-8 last year, and as I have said, their 3rd straight year getting here to the championship game. And as you mentioned, last year against Northern Colorado, that experience was very, very evident, and it looks like it is being very evident here in the first minute and a half as well.
Well, the defense of Montana State set the tone a year ago, getting so many stops, jumped on them, got ahead, and never looked back. So far, a 4-0 lead.
Well, the Lumberjacks have been playing very, very good offensively in these 3 games in the tournament, Tony. They're shooting 50% from the field and almost 40% from the 3-point line. But here is the rub. Montana State in their 2 games, they're holding their opponents to 40% shooting from the field and 27% from the 3-point line.
Jabril Bello had a great night last night. Didn't hit a field goal. All free throws with his point production. He's 2 for 2 on this trip. It's a 6-0 start.
Well, he's 12 for 16 from the free throw line last night. In their first game, he was 10 for 12. People just can't hardly handle the big 240-pound Englishman.
Carson Tout left it on the rim, got it back, and NAU was on the board.
Carson Tout has played very, very well in this tournament. 3 straight double-digit games. 1 double-double, 13 and 11 in their opening game against Idaho. Close to a double-double last night, 14 and 9.
Battle to Bello. A travel. And NAU will get the ball back.
Carson Tout is a very, very good post defender, but he gives up size and weight to Bello, he's going to have to be very, very savvy as how he guards Bello. I thought he fronted him out too far. He's going to have to slip behind when Bello gets out to about 8 or 9 feet from the basket.
Tout taking it right at Bello. Too far. Montana State, winners of 7 in a row, 12 of their last 13. Bello, a deep catch. Can't get the lefty, can't get the follow.
Well, they got a break there. Maines is going to have a hard time matching up with these 2 big post guys of the Bobcats. That time, Bello missed an easy one with Maines on his hip.
Skipping through, Raekwon Battle.
Raekwon Battle at 6'5", a long 6'5", can run the floor like a scalded dog. Nice pass ahead by Brown. Watch him get there and finish that. The hero of last night's game, maybe the most athletic wing in the entire Big Sky Conference.
Well, you'd have my vote. That's for dang sure. No player from Montana State last night had a field goal in the final 13-26, except Raekwon Battle.
Well, I mentioned he had 17 to lead his team last night, but it took him 22 shots, 7 of 22, and 3 of 7 from the three-point line. It's amazing in that slugfest last night, he didn't get to the free throw line not one time. Both teams straight man-to-man so far in the first 3 minutes.
Kickball, it will stay with Northern Arizona. The Lumberjacks here with their first trip to the championship game since 2008. And they started Big Sky play 0-5 on the road. Playing on the road was certainly a challenge. They have now won their last 5 away from home.
Well, they've won 5 of their last 6. The one they did lose was to Weber State by 1 point in overtime. Another heartbreaking loss for the Lumberjacks. 5 one-point losses in conference play.
Xavier Fuller is averaging 15 points a game during the tournament. And he has had some really timely plays during this run, much needed. As so many guys have started to elevate their game in this tournament.
Well, he's had 3 straight double-digit games, and he's also averaging 7 rebounds a game. But what you don't see in the box score, he guarded Anan Mooney from the Grizzlies last night, who was coming off a career-high 28 points, and held him to 6 on 2 of 8 shooting. 0 for 5 for the conference leading three-point shooter was Mooney, and I'm telling you, Fuller was on him like freckles on a redhead for 40 minutes last night.
Freckles on a redhead with a sunburn, maybe?
Possibly. Yeah. Mooney probably felt like he was sunburned. I'm telling you, Fuller really got into him.
He did a great job. 9-4 early on. Osabor, beautiful. Bounce pass underneath, maybe not so beautiful. Taken away by Fuller.
Fuller, great defense there. Came to help, saw he wasn't needed, got back and intercepted that. He has been so active in their previous 3 games.
Fuller the pull-up. No good, and the rebound comes down to Caleb Fuller. He came alive last night.
Caleb Fuller 2 games ago had 18 points, matching his career high. He is a great defender in his own right and very, very strong.
Yeah, 2 nights ago, boy, he was. Yeah, those 18 you talk about. Tout throws it back out. Here's a 3 on the way from Liam Lloyd. That's no good, and it's a 1 for 7 start for Northern Arizona.
And they have been shooting it very well, as I said, right at 50% in their previous 3 games. Big, great Osabor, the second big for the Bobcats in for Bello now. You'll see those 2 guys play a lot together. Weber State had an awful hard time, as does anyone in the league, matching up to them when they have 2 big guys in the game.
Darius Brown, no good here. 3 for 8 start for Montana State. And the 2 hold a 9-4 lead. Oakland Fort in the game. Hero back on Sunday. Merson Tout squares up, turns and spins on Osabor, but is held up, and this pass is going to go into the backcourt and out of bounds. 9-4. Montana State on top. Bobcats up 5. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. When you take care of your team, they take care of business.
Game on. Toyota of Melbourne is the dealership that works hard to earn your business. We go the extra mile.
Wow, let's take a closer, what the?
Her release speed deviated only point.
There's never been a better time to get away with a great deal on the hunt.
The new 2023 GMC Sierra AT4X.
There's never been a better time to get away with a great deal on the hunt.
Championship Saturday begins tonight at 6, then continues tomorrow on ESPN.
What makes this time special? Have you ever seen an entire...
Game on.
To shave or not to shave? Shave. It's true.
When it's tournament time, we don't go big. We go bigger.
In March, we move up ladders and into...
I'm not a data wizard, but I am an investor at Invesco QQQ, which gives me access to innovations like...
Championship Saturday begins tonight at 6, then continues tomorrow on ESPN. Championship Saturday begins tonight at 6.
This is what you play for. This is what you dream of. 2 words. March Madness.
Earlier today, the women's championship game, it was expected to be a showdown. It turned into a beatdown. The Hornets of Sacramento State led for all but 7 seconds in a wire-to-wire victory. 10 three-pointers on the day, led by as many as 20. And Sac State winning the conference title for the first time in school history. Congratulations to the Hornets of Sacramento State.
What an odd year on the women's side of the Big Sky. Tri-champions, 3 teams tied for the regular season championship. I don't know if that's ever been done before.
I wouldn't know off the top of my head, but it's tough to see it happen. But with the way that league was, it was tight right at the top.
Well, I've been around the league a long time, but the league's 60 years old. I hadn't been around quite that long, Tony.
9-4 Montana State off to this start. But it's NAU just 1 of 7 to get things going.
1 of 7 with 3 turnovers. I thought it was really important that they get off to a good start. Again, the new guys on the block here. Montana State's 3rd consecutive trip to the final game. Montana State now with those 2 big post guys in the game that I'd mentioned right before the timeout.
5 on the clock. Battle finds Bello. 2-hand jam just before the buzzer, and it's a 7-point lead again.
Really nice pass there by Battle. As I said, Battle is 6'5" and really, really long. See where he held that ball up over his head and passed over the defense. This is going to be a really tough matchup for the Lumberjacks because Nick Maines is going to have to guard one of these big guys. The only way the Lumberjacks can counter this, Nick Maines is going to have to hit some 3-pointers and shoot it in. So to win that matchup with one of the big guys.
Tout deep. He has both field goals so far in this game for Northern Arizona to make it 11-6. They were without a field goal for over 3 minutes.
Tout, the smallest post guy in the Big Sky, but with maybe the biggest heart, an outstanding defender, the conference leading offensive rebounder. He had 4 offensive rebounds in their win yesterday. Osborne has been awfully good off the bench for Montana State all year. The substitute of the year in the Big Sky Conference.
All right, we take a look at the Jabril Bello dunk. Late in the shot clock, Montana State still great with their execution.
Well, again, that was a terrific pass by Raekwon Battle there. And this is a tough matchup for anyone in the league. You're talking about 2 guys who both weigh about 250 with those 2 big Englishmen on the court for the Bobcats. And I say I thought the most important matchup of the night is going to be Nick Maines on one of these big guys. Maines needs to really stretch the defense and kind of turn the tide on them, make a big guy guard him on the court. Maines had been playing very good and shooting it pretty good. He didn't have a great game last night, only 7-4.
Oakland Fort had a great look and missed. He was the hero, of course, on Sunday. It has been a great spark off the bench for this team during some tough times. Battle skipping through the lane, and indeed it was a travel.
Well, Montana State taking a page out of the Eastern Washington's philosophy Northern Arizona now with their 2 small guards in. Montana State with their 2 big guys in. Now they just made a change. But Eastern Washington really took these 2 smaller guards, both Cone and Ford, to task in transition defense. Their matchup went straight to the low block and posted them up. The Bobcats trying to do the same thing, although now they only got 1 of their small guys in. Trenton McLaughlin now in for the Lumberjacks, who had 19 against the Bobcats the last time they played in Bozeman.
Fuller missing the fadeaway. Osborne tracks down the rebound. Montana State pushing the floor. Battle with the shot fake and lays it in, 13-6.
Really nice shot fake by Battle. He didn't overextend on that shot fake. Kept his explosiveness, didn't overstep it where he had to kind of recock his gun there a little bit. He's showing you some glimpses. While last year he was the substitute of the year in the league, he was the Super 6 man. This year, first team All-League.
Maines, they've had this shot deflected by Osborne. And it is a 2 for 11 start here for Northern Arizona.
Well, that's a tough start, and Maines really needs to get going at the offensive end for the Lumberjacks.
Nice defensive play, Jalen Cone. 4th turnover now for Montana State. Offensive foul. And stepping in to take that charge was Robert Ford III.
Robert Ford III, a very savvy veteran member of this team, was honorable mention all conference at Idaho State, transferred within the league through the transfer portal. And you'll see Danny Sprinkle played both big guys together and both his point guards together, both Ford and Brown. It'll be interesting to see as this game goes on. Darius Brown, the defensive player of the year, played 49 minutes last night of the 50 available minutes. You think, well, we'll let Ford spell him. Well, Ford played 39 minutes, so both these guys put in a lot of minutes in that 50-minute double overtime game last night.
Trying to go to Fuller on a post-up. They get it to him. Turns inside with the left. The lead is 9.
Now, they don't have 2 big guys in, but Caleb Fuller, 6'6", 210, the 3rd Englishman on this team, getting into the paint and really posting strong there. You can see the Bobcats' philosophy is just pounded inside, possession after possession.
Xavier Fuller trying to respond on the other end. There's been a lid on that basket here so far for Northern Arizona. Until now, McLaughlin nails the 3. This is a guy who had a career-high 19 the last time these 2 teams played. He shot 43% from 3 during conference play.
Well, he's 5 for 7 in their heartbreaking loss at Bozeman. They led the whole game, and great Osborne hit a leap and leaner, so to speak, from the low block as time expired to beat the Lumberjacks by 1. Big Jabril Bello cleaning things up right now. His English buddy Fuller on a strong post, and the Bobcats flexing their muscles here in the championship game, 15-9.
I like to move it. You like to move it.
I seriously hate bank fees, especially overdraft.
ABC Hockey Saturday, an original 6.
It's a little tight. Makes me feel husky.
Red Wings.
Making his way in on goal. Dylan Larkin.
Join me for the least athletic event of the year, the Oscars.
Who will triumph?
There's never been a better time to get away with a great deal on the hunt.
Game on.
Why are you so upset?
You know, I am upset.
Tree's hungry.
We just stopped. When it's tournament time, we don't go big. We go bigger. When it's tournament time, we don't go big. We go bigger.
Championship Saturday begins tonight at 6, then continues tomorrow on ESPN. Championship Saturday begins tonight at 6, then continues tomorrow on ESPN.
Now for tonight's Worth a Watch, brought to you by Principal. Well, you'll never forget this play. .4 on the clock. The deep pass from Hunter Woods. Isaiah Johnson with .4. Hits that shot to give Portland State the win. A true Hail Mary here in the game of basketball. Northern Arizona had their heart broken time after time after time, and this was one of those 5 one-point losses.
Boy, they had what I call buzzard's luck there in Flagstaff this year. They had lost some unbelievably heartbreaking games.
Take a look at some of the individual awards. A couple of Montana State Bobcats, and then although Idaho finished in last this year, they had a couple of great performers during the year, including the Freshman of the Year and Newcomer of the Year.
Well, that gives you a little glimpse of how talented this league was from top to bottom. When you can take 2 guys off the bottom team and who win postseason type awards. This has been an outstanding year in the Big Sky. Unbelievable year at the top. Eastern Washington running off 18 straight wins, and then losing their last 2 regular season games, and then getting sent home after their first game in the conference tournament by that miraculous finish by NAU Lumberjacks.
Jabril Bello, as we mentioned, didn't hit a field goal last night. Does have one tonight. He had 8.6 rebounds in that championship game last year, but he was so unselfish. He knew his knee wasn't completely right. Told Coach Danny Sprinkle to make sure that Osibor could carry the load, and was honest with him about the way he was feeling. It made a big difference in their semifinal win a year ago and in their championship game win. They're up by 8.
Well, he should set a lawn chair up to that free throw line, because he's wearing it out. 10 of 12 the first game in their tournament from the free throw line, and 12 of 16 last night.
Jalen Cone, 46% from 3 in conference play. And he hits his first good look from the outside, and suddenly it is now a 17-12 game.
Cone coming off a 28-point game last night where he was 6 of 10 from the three-point line, the second leading three-point shooter in the league, and boy, you don't want to let him get started.
Bello deep and 1. It is going to be a tough battle here tonight for Northern Arizona in that restricted area.
And I made the comment last night, the Bobcats are just playing smash mouth basketball at the half court, inside, inside, and inside again. And that is a tough matchup for the big freshman Jack Wistersill. He was the player of the year in Utah a year ago. He's had an outstanding freshman year, but Bello kind of conducting adult education classes there. Big Jabril Bello, last year's MVP and last year's Defensive Player of the Year. It's only the 3rd time in the 60-year history of the league that that's happened, but Bello is pretty polished in that low block. That was Cone's first shot of the game, by the way. They need to find a way to kind of create a few more shots for him, because once he gets going, boy, it's like trying to put toothpaste back in the tube to get him stopped.
McLaughlin earns a trip to the free throw line. Trent McLaughlin, transfer from Central Connecticut State, originally from Bloomington, Illinois. Certainly be an X factor here tonight.
Well, not only is he a good shooter off the bench, he is an outstanding defender. He's come into these first 3 games and really spelled Fuller on the other team's best wing player and done an admirable job.
Coach, we have you covered on Selection Sunday. It all starts at noon Eastern on ESPN with college basketball live to prep the day at 6. Reese and the guys look at the men's field of 68 as the brackets are announced, followed by bracketology with breakdowns of each region. At 8, the women's field of 68 is revealed with continuing coverage on ESPNU at 9. And at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, even more coverage of both brackets. Everything also streaming live on the ESPN app.
NAU has been in this 2-3 zone for the last couple of possessions. We've seen them play that off and on throughout the tournament. They've had some success with it.
Bello off to a terrific start now with 10.
They're not going to have a whole lot of success with it if they let Bello catch it right in the middle of the paint that way. You know, it's easy to say don't let him catch it in there. He has got a pretty good feel around the basket there, and a great touch for a big guy. What he has come a long, long way. I had his first game at Montana State when they played at Utah State 4 years ago. He was just a big old bodied kid, and man, has he gained polish and conditioning in his body.
Tout bumping into Bello, spins in, cut off by Bello, harassed, but still gets it to go.
How about that, finishing it with his right hand, even though he is left-handed. As I said, Tout, the smallest post guy in the league, but boy, he makes up for it with strength and heart. NAU still in their zone.
Bello goes with the left now and just hits glass.
Good job by Tout there, just staying down, staying between Bello and the basket.
Cone skipping through the lane. Maines launches and hits a three.
And I think that is so important that Maines gets going. He's the all-time leading three-point shooter in NAU history. Plus, he's played more games than anyone in the history of the program. He's had 5 straight double-digit games to finish his career. Obviously, 3 of them in this tournament. Boy, he needs to have a good game to stretch that Bobcat defense.
Battle with a response from way outside.
That kid is so talented. A great athlete that can shoot it. And I'm telling you, he shows very little emotion. Good, bad, or indifferent. He just plays.
Underneath Maines. Deep catch. Guarded tightly by Fuller. Lloyd goes back to Maines. Loose ball foul. And it'll stay down. And it'll stay with Northern Arizona. Raekwon Battle answering the early three from Maines. The hero from last night has given Montana State a 6-point lead.
For 46 years straight, more of you have trusted Ford F-Series.
What if you were a global energy company with operations in Scotland, technologists?
Every March, Jersey Mike's turns money from subs into charitable
Game on.
There's never been a better time to get away. With a great deal on the hunt.
When it's tournament time, we don't go big. We go bigger.
Join me for the least athletic event of the year, the Oscars.
Who will triumph?
Join me for the least athletic event of the year, the Oscars.
Who will triumph?
There's never been a better time to get away. With a great deal on the hunt. There's never been a better time to get away. With a great deal on the hunt.
Game on. Game on.
The XFL gets you closer to football than ever before.
Coach Oz, aloha. That's sail on one.
This event gets better every year and buzzing with excitement right now.
When it's tournament time, we don't go big. We go bigger.
Championship Saturday begins tonight at 6, then continues tomorrow on ESPN. Championship Saturday begins tonight at 6, then continues tomorrow on ESPN.
Take a look at the ACC men's tournament bracket. Quarterfinals, that quadruple header, all set up for tomorrow. Starts at noon Eastern with Miami and Wake Forest. Culminates with Clemson and NC State on ESPN at 9:30. All chalk in that first round with the exception of the number 9 seed Wake Forest Demon Deacons defeating Syracuse. And speaking of the Syracuse Orange, Jim Boeheim has retired after 47 years of coaching. What a career. 35 NCAA tournament appearances, 58 wins in the dance, 5 Final Fours, a national title, 23 players selected in the first round of the NCAA tournament.
Well, I would say he's had a Hall of Fame career. He's already in the Hall of Fame. So, you know, whatever the next level is over that, he's had an unbelievable run at Syracuse.
Nick Maines unable to hit his second, but he had it halfway down. What a big O-board from the conference's best offensive rebounder. He's not such a bad fadeaway shooter as well.
Very nice. He had 4 offensive rebounds last night. He averages 3, and he is also one of the top assist guys in the league. Is Carson Towder, outstanding passer out of the post.
He has 8 points now, 4 of 6 from the field. Northern Arizona has now hit 5 of their last 6 after starting 2 of 12. Nice take, Darius Brown.
Darius Brown played almost every minute of the game last night. He only had 4 points. So listen to this. 11 rebounds, 6 assists.
Look at the hustle by Battle, and turns a loose ball into a dunk.
He just came out of nowhere to get that too, to show you a little bit of a glimpse of his athleticism. He came from about the top of the key and chased that one down.
Fuller gets inside. Cuts the lead back down to 6.
Fuller, 3 straight double-digit games in the tournament, averaging over 14 and 7 rebounds. He has really come to life here in tournament time.
Darius Brown has been terrific for Montana State, taking over for Xavier Fuller after he graduated last year. Patterson, a corner 3, and he was the X factor last year in the championship game. Hit 4 out of 5 from deep. And he had hit just 2 of his last 9 before that knockdown.
He was 1 of 3 yesterday in that double overtime game.
The air ball goes to Tout, and he gets his 10th point.
Carson Tout all over that offensive glass with that big body. He just carves out space around the basket, and when he puts his hip on you, he just freezes you there. He really knows how to play in and around the basket when it comes to rebounding. He's on big, great Osabar now. The Bobcats playing small with only one of their post guys in the game.
Montana State had made 6 of their previous 7 before that miss by Raekwon Battle. Jalen Cone drawing the contact here against Darius Brown. We take a look. Raekwon Battle. Look at this speed. Track that ball down and then turn the corner. And then shortly after that, Patterson, we watched him come to life last year on this stage during the championship game.
Tyler Patterson's mother played at Montana State. I ran into his father up there who played at Utah State, Gary Patterson. They've been very supportive of this kid. I want to question maybe a little illegal recruiting if your mother plays where you were playing, if there wasn't some recruiting going on at home.
Carson Tout and the foul. He has 12. Battle has 12.
What a nice little pocket pass, people call this, paint to paint there by McLaughlin, who has played really well in this tournament without getting a whole lot of big stats. Tout 13 and 11 in his first game, 10 and 6 his second game, almost a double-double last night at 14 and 9. He's averaged over 12, which he already has, and right at 9 rebounds in the 3 tournament games.
That has been the one area of weakness. Free throw shooting has been tough for Carson Tout, 41.5% during the season.
And it's amazing. The shot looks good as it comes out of his hand. He's got a nice backspin on it and a pretty good release.
A collapse on Osabar, and Osabar still gets fouled.
Both those 2 big bodies from England, Osabar and Bello, have just come so far in post play and how they've developed. And the assistant coach on the Montana State bench, Chris Haslam, is also from England and also is kind of the post coach. He's done a great job. Look at big Chris Haslam over there. He's big enough that he could come out and play. But both those guys, Bello at 6'9", 240, Osabar 6'8", 245, they're both big enough to go bear hunting with a switch if they want to, Tony.
I don't doubt he could get out there and play. How many minutes a game would you put him out there?
Well,
I'd
make sure it was a half-court game, but what a wonderful guy. I had a chance to visit with him the last couple days here.
He's wonderful.
They've got 3 Englishmen on this team. There's 7 Englishmen in the entire Mountain West Conference this year. You talk about an English invasion. Of course, everyone has international guys, but I've never seen 7 Englishmen in the Big Sky Conference overall.
Great Osobor, as you mentioned, the hero in that win over NAU a month ago. NAU had the lead for so much of that game, and it was a terrific surge down the stretch for Montana State. As Montana State in that game was held at 3 of 18 from 3. They were great from the free throw line, 18 of 21.
Way back on February the 2nd, and NAU has come on in leaps and bounds since then. Montana State playing a little zone now, which doesn't surprise me at all after playing 50 minutes last night. Their guards have to be exhausted.
Here's a good look from Nick Maines, and he hits again.
When Nick Maines plays out on the perimeter in their zone offense and out around those smaller guards, Maines 6'9" with a real high release point on his jump shot. He's one of those guys who could shoot it out of a phone booth if you could find a phone booth anymore to shoot it. But that's pretty good zone offense. Just give it to him and let him shoot it in. Watch Maine's footwork on this. When he catches it, feet are set, he rhythms right into it. The all-time leading three-point shooter in terms of attempts and makes at NAU history. He's also played more games than anyone in NAU history.
Sam Lekalot goes to the free throw line, back-to-back Wyoming Player of the Year.
He started 11 games for the Bobcats this year. He's played in every game. He played just a little bit last night, but a big, strong body. He's going to be a really good player for the Bobcats down the road. Big, rugged kid. Danny Sprinkle has done a nice job of developing his bench. Tony, I've always said as a coach, you don't wake up one day and you've got a deep bench and a nice rotation. You really have to work at that. Puts your 7th, 8th, 9th guy in tough situations in games, and Danny Sprinkle has done a really nice job of that, especially the last couple years.
So Lekalot makes both free throws, just 63% on the season. The guy that just goes out there, does his job, whether he plays a lot or just a few minutes. Lekalot called for the foul here. He disagrees.
That was a nice post up by Fuller. He was posting up the defensive player of the year, Darius Brown. Of course, Brown's only 6'2", and Fuller a little, maybe 6'6", 6'5", but Brown settled in behind him, and that never works when you're a small down there playing post defense. You got to get around the front. Fuller has just been playing up a storm and playing with great enthusiasm and great heart all 3 games here at the tournament.
We know about Oakland Fort's game winner.
Yes.
But his timely shots in that come from behind victory against Eastern Washington were enormous.
7-7, both teams now in the 1-on-1 in terms of fouls. And as I said with Fuller, he's put up some nice numbers, but boy, he has been a demon defensively.
NAU started the game shooting 2 of 12. Montana State jumped out to a lead that was as big as 9. It's down to 3. We'll go to Caleb Fuller here in the high post. He'll take it right to the rack as he goes around Nick Maines.
Straight isolation there by Fuller on Nick Maines. And Maines looked like he had concrete shoes on then. Fuller just took him right off the bounce to the hoop.
Oakland Fort breaks the paint, floats it up. Another air ball. This ball's knocked out of bounds. B with NAU when we come back. Caleb Fuller, the former EABL Finals MVP in the Elite Academy Basketball League with that bucket.
The XFL gets you closer to football than ever before.
Both sides, aloha.
Oh, it's daylight saving time.
What's the big deal?
What's the...
There's never been a better time to get away with a great deal on the hunt.
I'm light as a feather, I'm light as a feather, yeah, baby, I float. It's hard to... Game on.
People who come to Cricket, stay with Cricket. Like one of our favorite customers.
Game on.
The
The XFL gets you closer to football than ever before.
Both guys, aloha. That's sail on one.
Champ Week.
This is it. No more chances. Tomorrow's.
So.
When it's tournament time, we don't go big. We go bigger.
At Jersey Mike's, they freshly slice your sub right in front of you, which takes some.
Sure, it's a little tight. Makes me feel husky.
There's never been a better time to get away with a great deal on the hunt.
The XFL gets you closer to football than ever before.
Both guys, aloha. That's sail on one.
Join me for the least athletic event of the year, the Oscars.
Who will triumph in?
So.
Championship Saturday begins tonight at 6, then continues tomorrow on ESPN. Championship Saturday begins tonight at 6, then continues tomorrow on ESPN.
Well, you guys are talking about the first 4 in, first 4 out. I thought you were talking about me at the local bar after this game. The first 4 in and the last 4 out.
You end up on both lists.
Yeah.
All right, take a look at the Big 12 men's basketball tournament bracket. You saw that right there. A big win today for Oklahoma State. That helps their cause significantly for their bid to get into the NCAA tournament.
How about Carson Tout, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 6 for 8 from the field. Make that 6 rebounds now.
And McMahon stepped out of bounds. It'll go back to Montana State.
6 turnovers now for Northern Arizona. They'd kind of taken care of it in about the last 10 minutes. Remember, Tony, they started off with 3 turnovers in their first 4 possessions. They kind of settled in. They've got both small guards in now, and they're going to go back to their 2-3 zone. Danny Sprinkle rotating his 2 big guys more than playing them together tonight than he did last night. That could be because of fatigue. Remember, they played 50 minutes in a 2 overtime game less than 24 hours ago.
Jalen Cone. No good. Oakland Fort, the O board. He's in the trees. Throws it out. Raekwon Battle picks it off. Nick Maines called for the foul, and that's going to be his second.
Well, Robert Ford III all over Jalen Cone there, face guarding him, actually trying to keep the ball out of his hands when he did catch it. Robert Ford III just right up in his grill there. Cone can really get up on his jump shot, but he needs a little bit cleaner look than that. They've done a nice job of taking Cone out of the game. He's only gotten 1 shot, Tony. One for 1 from the 3-point line. Before that, only 2 shot attempts. For the 5th leading scorer in the league, 2nd best 3-point shooter, Jalen Cone has got to figure out a way to get some open looks to close this gap.
Raekwon Battle has had a number of touches. He's had some terrific hustle plays on top of it. And he has had a great start to this game, and it's helped Montana State get out to a 38-31 lead. He has 14 points.
Battle averages 17. He's had a couple 30-point games this year, 28 double-digit games, so he's been very consistent all year. First team all Big Sky.
Through the hands of Carson Tout. That is the 8th turnover so far for Northern Arizona.
Well, that's a tough pass by Fuller there. Those little paint-to-paint passes are hard to handle for big guys. That's about the only thing you could criticize Fuller for here in this entire tournament. He has played up a storm, scoring, defending, rebounding.
Brown goes to that corner. Robert Ford III. It's long. Loose ball on the ground is picked up by Fuller.
Robert Ford III, only 6 foot tall, had 6 rebounds in that bloodbath they called a basketball game last night against Weber State. You know, we were doing that. That old hockey term kept coming to mind, Tony. I went to a fist fight and a hockey game broke out. That's the way I felt like we were at a gang fight. They decided to play basketball last night. Man, was that a rough and tumble affair.
Each team with a flagrant foul last night. Bodies crashing and hitting the floor.
Boy, back home they would say that was tougher than a country corn cob last night. Boy, I tell you, it was a real pretty ugly game. You just couldn't help but admire the effort and the intensity of both teams, but man, it was an ugly game offensively.
A putback. It's Xavier Fuller, a guy who played for Coach Burkar at Mesa High School. He was first team All-State in the region Defensive Player of the Year. They've had a great connection here at Northern Arizona as well. Paints a paint pass. Osibor can't finish. And Northern Arizona going to try to make a push here at the end of the half.
Don't see that very often. Osibor with great hands and really handy around the paint, had 16 last night.
Jalen Cone putting on the brakes and cuts the lead to 3.
I'm telling you, if you let him get started, as I say, it's going to be a long night for your defense, because boy, he can score in a hurry.
Darius Brown to the high post, goes to Osibor. Great Osibor. That is his first field goal of the night. Big moments off the bench for him last night. Jalen Cone is going to use a timeout here. We'll step aside. 5-point game, 53 seconds left in the first.
This event gets better every year, and they're buzzing with excitement right now.
In March, we move up ladders and into...
Cheers to you as well. A fun night here tonight in Boise, Coach. The championship game. Returning champion, Montana State Bobcats. The team picked to finish at the top of the conference before the season. And the Northern Arizona Lumberjacks, the number 9 seed here in this championship game. Montana, the most shocking tournament runs we've ever seen.
It really was. Montana State had a 15-3 conference record, Tony, which normally you win the league with. Eastern Washington had run off 16 straight conference wins before they ended up losing their last 2. Is the reason Montana State got that 2nd seed. But again, they're in that situation, been there, done that. 3rd straight year they're in the final game of the Big Sky Conference tournament.
Coming out of that timeout, Jalen Cone on the offense here for Northern Arizona. Cone dumps it to Tout. He's had 12 in the first half. Nick Maines can't hit this 3. Osibor the rebound.
Nice pass out of the post by Tout. I said he's one of the best passing big guys in the league. Maines had a great look there that rattled around and went out. That would have been a huge momentum shot for the Lumberjacks going in at halftime.
Darius Brown lobbing, another deep catch for Osibor, and he can't get this one. Patterson grabs it. Fuller with the shot clock off, knowing they could play for the final shot here of this first half, a kick ball. Reset everything with 7.8.
Boy, Bobcats got a break there with that offensive rebound. That's 2 in a row. Great Osibor has missed right at the rim there. Darius Brown just does, the point guard I'm speaking of from Montana State, Defensive Player of the Year, but he just does a great job of orchestrating this offense, whether it's on offense or defense.
Raekwon Battle, another strong take. He has 16 points and is 6 of 10 during the half. 7-point lead. Montana State takes it to the break over Northern Arizona. We now head to the studio for the halftime report. Dallin, Tom, and Steve. It's all yours, guys.
he has a chance to be on the all-tournament team, just doing battle down in the post. And at the other end, Raekwon Battle, the best wing athlete in the Big Sky. First team all Big Sky, already with 16 points. He averages 17, just oozes with athleticism, a high riser. Pretty good shot fake as well, making a bid, Tony, to maybe be the MVP of the Big Sky Conference Tournament.
You talk about the first 5 minutes of the second half. Just how important is that going to be here tonight?
Well, I thought NAU got off to that bad start. After that, they kind of righted the ship, and has been kind of a 7-point game ever since then. And that is not a great start for Carson Tout, getting a foul against big Jabril Bello. Jabril Bello is just a load down in that low block at 6'9", 240 pounds. I mentioned last year's MVP of the league. He has just had a great career for Idaho State, Montana State.
Yeah. He would have a great career at Idaho State. He would really help them.
1,100 points, 500 rebounds, 150 blocks at Montana State.
Second foul on Carson Tout. This will be the 14th free throw here for Montana State. As NAU has had a tough time with them on the inside. It's a 9-point lead for the Bobcats. That matches their biggest of the game so far.
Montana State shot 26 free throws last night in that double overtime. 19 of 26, 73%.
A deflection from Caleb Fuller and a takeaway. That is now the 9th turnover for Northern Arizona.
NAU's got to be careful that they don't get off the same start here in the second half that they did with the game. They've got a foul. They've given up 2 points on a free throw and a turnover. They need to kind of get their wits about them here after this first 45 seconds.
A lob to Caleb Fuller, trying to get the handle, saves it in, but it goes to Tout. Here comes Jalen Cone. Cone with just 5 points there in that first half. He's only been able to get up 4 shots. A lot of them with a hand in his face.
The Bobcats.
Xavier Fuller.
Excuse me, Tony. The Bobcats trying to post trying to post Cone up there a little bit. Sometimes that takes you out of your offensive rhythm when you're doing something you're not used to.
And somewhat of a disrupted rhythm there leads to a travel.
Back-to-back turnovers for the Lumberjacks. Again, not a great way to start this second half. Very similar to how they started the game.
Patterson go to Bello from the outside the arc. He put up his first 3-point attempt last night. Didn't go well. But when he takes it to the hole, it usually goes well. Except this time, it's a charge.
Well, he looked like a runaway train then. And that was pretty brave standing out there and taking that charge was Fuller. And Bello all over him there. 3 fouls now on big Jabril Bello.
He'll take a seat. As you know, Osobor, they don't lose a lot when he steps in, and that's the reason why he's the 6th man of the year.
Great post rotation, and then really effective when Danny Sprinkle plays them together.
Tout is going to take it at Osobor, and Osobor rejects it. Back cut. Jalen Cone harassed in the paint. Another steal for the Montana State defense. That's 11 turnovers now by Northern Arizona, the 3rd here in the second half.
3 straight possessions they've turned it over to him. There's
Caleb Fuller gets it deep.
That elbow ISO again for Fuller. That time he left it a little short. Another rebound for Tout.
Ball's out of bounds, and it's turnover number 4 of this half, and all 4 in a row.
Well, Montana State's just kind of sped NAU up here in the first 2 or 3 minutes. NAU likes to kind of settle into a little bit of rhythm in their half-court offense, and Montana State has just pushed them right to the brink of a turnover. 4 straight possessions. Nine-point lead, the biggest of the game so far for the Bobcats.
Here goes Osobor. Into the paint, drops Steph, and he has a chance to give him their biggest lead of the night as he goes to the free throw line.
Tout's 3rd foul, and that's not going to bode well with the Lumberjacks. Big Jack Wistersill coming in now, the freshman from Salt Lake City.
He's going to have a great college career.
He is.
As a freshman playing in this game, it's going to continue to be an uphill battle for him. He's had some bright spots during this freshman season as he comes in now. He, of course, the son of Tom Wistersill, commissioner in the Big Sky Conference, as we talked about before.
Yes, he's done a wonderful job in his short tenure here as a Big Sky commissioner.
So big tip of the hat, John Casper. A well-run tournament once again here in Boise. 5 stars all the way, and that's the way they usually do it.
John's had a few issues here, but for everyone who doesn't know, it just seems like it's seamless every year that John Casper runs this tournament.
Jalen Cone can't end the drought. It's been 4.5 minutes. The biggest lead now for Montana State is 10.
Cone 2 of 5 for the game, and remember, he is coming off a 28-point game. He's averaged 21 in this tournament.
Osobor against the freshman. Can't get the reverse. Xavier Fuller pushing the pace and goes back to Wistersill. Northern Arizona trying to find their footing on offense. Losing the handle a bit, but getting the lay-in is Jalen Cone. Man, did Northern Arizona need something there.
Jalen Cone is such an outstanding three-point shooter, second in the league. Once he turns that corner, people run at him, think he's going to raise and shoot that three-pointer. That time he kind of gave a little head fake and got 2 guys up out of stands and then was just uncontested getting to the rim.
Contact away from the ball, and I think this foul is going to go against Jalen Cone.
Jalen Cone is listed at 5'11". I have my doubts if he's that tall, but boy, he puts up big numbers. A 45-point game early this year, the most scored in the Big Sky. He backed that up with a 38-point game. He can really get it going.
Osobor right at the rim again, can't get it. Pressure on the offensive glass results in a foul. And they are just going to have a really tough time in there. 26 points in the paint so far, because that's the 3rd foul on Nick Maines. So Montana State, 26 points in the paint, 13 from the free throw line. 39 of their 45.
I've said this before, and I said it time after time last night. They just play smash mouth offense. They just stick it in there inside, just inside, 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 and you just have to contend with those 2 great big bodies of Bello and Osobor, and NAU's going to run out of big bodies here before long. They're going to be playing really small now with Jack Wistersill, the only post-like player in there, and then 4 small guys around him. They will have to play some 2-3 zone, I think, with this lineup.
Fuller with the left, no. Osobor gives it off now to Darius Brown. And go deep into that paint again. It goes out of bounds. And we'll stay with Montana State. This is what they're playing for. The Big Sky Conference Championship Trophy. It's up for grabs here tonight at Idaho Central Arena in Boise.
Life's kinda unpredictable. Like when your groceries arrive the moment you remember everything.
With one of the best savings rates in America, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history.
There's never been a better time to get away with a great deal on the hunt.
Game on. When it's tournament time, we don't go big. We go bigger. Game on.
Targets are on site.
It's all here, as we discussed.
For 46 years straight, more of you have trusted Ford F-Series.
You think our planet is f***ed up now? Try 65 million years ago.
So when it's tournament time, we don't go big. We go bigger.
In March, we move up ladders and into
The new 2023 GMC Sierra AT4X.
The 3 for Me only at Chili's gets you a bottomless drink, bottomless chips.
It's just a little tight. Makes me feel husky.
Game on.
Come on in to the truck stop. Everything you need for
Game on.
There's never been a better time to get away with a great deal on the hunt.
For 46 years straight, more of you have trusted Ford F-Series.
Fresh, warm hot dogs.
When I'm not selling hot dogs, I invest in a fund.
There's never been a better time to get away with a great deal on the hunt. There's never been a better time to get away with a great deal.
Tomorrow, as it'll be the Pac-12 Men's Tournament presented by New York Life. See those games that have gone to final today and all set up for that quarterfinals right there for you in Las Vegas. We take a look at the predicted teams to get in the NCAA Tournament of the Pac-12 with just 3 teams, Coach. So that's a conference that can definitely vary in terms of the number of teams we've seen in the past.
Well, we'll find out on Sunday. And meanwhile, NAU, as I predicted, in their 2-3 zone. Montana State getting it right to the heart of that zone in their zone offense, and Raekwon Battle couldn't finish the deal.
Oakland Ford, such a key player off this bench. Takes it right at Caleb Fuller, does draw a foul, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Oakland Ford, the freshman from Phoenix, only had 3 double-digit games in entire year, his entire freshman year, but comes into this tournament and throws 2 double-digit games right in a row, and then that shot heard around the world, well, around the big sky anyway, where he hits that deep 3 and sends the #1 seed home.
Mentioned the back-to-back double-digit games. He didn't have one during conference play at all. You know, when March comes around, things get very different.
NAU is hanging pretty tough in here, Tony, but they have 12 turnovers, and Montana State has 13 points off their turnovers. They could just kind of hang on to it a little bit. They're shooting 40%, 33% from the 3-point line.
Having a tough time defending in the paint, as that was somewhat expected tonight with some of the size disadvantage, and they already have 4 fouls in the second half.
And Tout and Maines both with 3 fouls sitting on the bench.
Tout played really well in some foul trouble yesterday, and helping them get to this point. Fuller has to chase this one down in the corner. He's able to corral it, but he's out of bounds. And Montana State, in this second half, they have yet to make a field goal.
How about that? And yet they maintain this 7-point lead because, as you recall, NAU 4 straight possessions with turnovers. And even though Montana State didn't score off those, that just means NAU didn't get a shot off those and obviously didn't score.
Oakland Fort misses here. Northern Arizona 1 of 5 to start this half. And some cold shooting at different times, as Northern Arizona is now just 30% from deep.
Bello in, Osabor out. What a luxury to be able to rotate those 2 big guys. And then when Danny Sprinkle sees the opportunity, he plays them together. But, boy, those are 2 great big old rascals in the paint there.
Darius Brown dumps it off. Fuller finishes that. And finally, Montana State has a field goal in the second half. They also have a 9-point lead. As you mentioned, it's not like they gave up much during that period of time. Their defense keeping Northern Arizona at an arm's length.
Great pass.
With some space. Goes out to McLaughlin for 3. Northern Arizona now 1 of 6. Fuller and no board. This foul is called on Montana State.
Watch this nice pass by the defensive player of the year, Darius Brown, who had 6 assists last night and 11 rebounds for a 6'2" guard in that rough and tumble affair last night. Boy, he has been just what the doctor ordered for this Montana State team this year. Coming from Cal State Northridge, where he was 2nd team All Big West before he came over to play for Montana State.
McLaughlin working on Battle. A back-cutting Fuller finishes a terrific and 1.
What a nice pass by Trenton McLaughlin, who had a big night shooting it in against the Bobcats February 2nd, and what a great finish by Fuller. Watch the way he keeps his chin off his chest, sees the ball, look at that, all the way down. He falls on the floor. He's still got concentration on the rim. When you drop that chin to your chest and anticipate contact, that never works. And boy, Fuller just really willed that one in almost.
Pursuing his master's in human relations. A guy that has been on the honor roll before, takes his academics very seriously, takes his basketball very seriously, an unselfish guy. Wants to do whatever it takes. So is Jabril Bello. Many other guys out on the court throughout this game. Battle, a great first half. Almost had his first basket of the second half. Well, go to the free throw line to shoot his 4th and 5th free throws.
You know, Battle is listed at 6'5", and I said earlier he is a long 6'5". He just rolls up over Xavier Fuller, who is almost the same size. But I saw Battle today walking around the hotel. I mean, he's got arms from here to Hoboken, Tony. He is a long fella.
Hoboken's far away.
Well, he's got long arms.
That's for true. Not lying about that.
He has.
Yeah, he's long, athletic, and just a character-based young man.
If they hold on to win here, I think he's going to be the MVP of the tournament. He had 17 last night, as I mentioned. It took him 22 shots to get to 17, but boy, he's having a field day here tonight.
Last night, by the way that game was played, that was considered efficient. That was as sluggish a game as you'll ever see. Cone stops and can't hit. He's just trying to find that rhythm. He hasn't had as many shots as he's accustomed to. That's just his 7th field goal attempt.
Well, when Robert Ford is on Cone, kind of watch off the ball. He's face guarding Cone, not letting him get easy touches. When Cone does get it, he is way out of his scoring comfort zone, so to speak.
Great ball movement here. Battle settles into a good look three. Raekwon Battle, the 6th man of the year a season ago, moved from star role player to star.
Boy, he just looks like he's in the park playing by himself today.
McLaughlin, they need this one, and they get it. There goes Trent McLaughlin. We mentioned his terrific three-point shooting during conference play, the timely threes that he's been able to come up with during this great run that they have had. And they started playing better at the end of the regular season and right into the tournament. It's an 8-point game.
McLaughlin's really helped him off the bench with his defense, too, in his first 3 games. He's come in and really kept the ball out of some very prominent scorers' hands in the league.
Robert Ford whips the pass quickly to Fuller. He'll muscle it in. Caleb Fuller, who won a silver medal at the 17 European Championship with Team Great Britain, puts Montana State back up by double digits. The stop and the turnaround. A high arcing shot is no good because the length of Montana State's defense. A jump ball will go to NAU, and great ball movement leads to a high quality look here for the Montana State Bobcats.
Montana State kind of having her way in this second half. Smash mouth offense head down at that end.
What makes this time special? Have you ever seen an entire
Game on.
This event gets better every year and buzzing with excitement right now.
When it's tournament time, we don't go big. We go bigger.
Drive. It's what propels the champions, the comeback kids.
The new 2023 GMC Sierra AT4X.
There's never been a better time to get away with a great deal on the hunt.
I invest in a fund that advances innovations like robotics.
Fresh, warm, hot.
ABC Hockey Saturday. An original.
When it's tournament time, we don't go big. We go bigger.
Welcome home, Commander.
Toyota of Melbourne is the dealership that works hard to earn your business. We go the extra mile.
I invest in a fund that advances innovations like robotics.
Fresh, warm, hot.
So in your past relationships, you felt controlled?
Exactly. But it's over. I'm never...
This event gets better every year and buzzing with excitement right now.
The 3 for Me only at Chili's serves up bottomless drinks, bottomless chips.
Game on.
What makes this time special? Have you ever seen an entire...
Buckle up! That says it all right there.
What makes this time special? Have you ever seen an entire...
Championship Saturday begins tonight at 6, then continues tomorrow on ESPN. Championship Saturday begins tonight at 6, then continues tomorrow on ESPN.
How hype can you be? How hype can you be? How loud can you get? Make some noise.
It is Champ Week indeed. We take a look at the ACC men's tournament, that quarterfinal quadruple header, all set up for tomorrow. How about Appleby today? They're with Wake Forest, 15.6 rebounds, 12 assists. And Pittsburgh today got by Georgia Tech. Burton with 21 points and 8 dimes, 22 points for Love as North Carolina handled Boston College 85-61. Always fun this time of year, Coach. Games going on all the time. In a one-bid league like this, you can feel the tension start to pick up minute by minute here in this second half. It's a 10-point Montana State lead.
You know, Tony, NAU has only committed 7 and 8 turnovers their last 2 games, but they've got 12 here.
Strong take by Tao. He has 14
Tao.
points, his first 2 points of the second half.
I tell you, he gets it that close to the basket. He's strong as 2 rows of onions, boy. I'm telling you, he has had a great tournament.
But not 3.
Not
you
3.
mentioned somebody was 3 yesterday.
Well, he was stronger than him.
So you're just shortchanging
Carson
Towns. I'm going to tell him.
That was Bello, I think.
Matter of fact, we're going to break. I'm going to tell him right now. 10 or 8-point lead, Montana State.
In March, we move up ladders and into.
There's never been a better time to get away with a great deal on the hunt.
Red Wings.
Making his way in on goal.
At Jersey Mike's, they freshly slice your sub right in front of you, which takes some...
Game on. Game on.
There's never been a better time to get away with a great deal on the hunt.
What makes this time special? Have you ever seen an entire...
Why are you so upset?
You know, I am upset.
Game on.
There's never been a better time to get away with a great deal on the hunt.
Game on.
Join me for the least athletic event of the year, the Oscars.
Who will triumph?
Game on.
What makes this time special? Have you ever seen an entire...
When it's tournament time, we don't go big. We go bigger.
Red Wings.
Making his way in on goal.
When it's tournament time, we don't go big. We go bigger.
Championship Saturday begins tonight at 6, then continues tomorrow on ESPN. Championship Saturday begins tonight at 6, then continues tomorrow on ESPN.
Take a look at the Big 12 Men's Championship, brought to you by Phillips 66. West Virginia holding Texas Tech today to 26% shooting from 3 in their 16-point win. Oklahoma State doing a lot for their at-large chances with that win over Oklahoma, 57-49. As Champ Week continues, Big Sky Championship game. Northern Arizona able to cut this to 8, but Montana State is doing a nice job of always keeping them at a distance.
When they use kind of hanging around, and that's the way you stage a classic upset, Tony. Kind of hang in there, and then make a couple plays at the end. They need to hang in there a little closer than 8, but it seems like it's been about 6 or 8 the whole way.
Shot clock down to 2. Brown left it short. A tie-up, and it will go to Montana State. It's a big possession for them to get back, as it looked as if NAU
was going to get the stop. Was going to get the stop and take it down to the other end. They really need to get Jalen Cone going if they can. 3 of 8, 1 of 3, only 7 points. He's averaged 21 points here in this tournament, coming off a 28-point game. But Darius Brown and Robert Ford are making his life pretty miserable.
This will now be the 6th team foul against Northern Arizona. Montana State is going to be shooting from here on out. It's been big for the way Montana State plays. Grind on teams. 3 fouls now on McLaughlin. 3 on Tout. 3 on Nick Maines.
Well, that's a pretty descriptive term. That's the way Montana State plays. They just kind of grind you with those big bodies. They are probably the most physical team in the league. And to my point, Big Jabril Bello with his offhand kind of forcing that one in.
Jabril Bello, the first player to be named All-Conference 4 years in the Big Sky. McLaughlin trying to answer with a baseline fade. Ball dances around, and he has that shooter's touch.
Nice touch. Caleb Fuller doing a pretty good job defensively there, as he has in this entire tournament. Fuller, that big, strong body, the 3rd guy on this team from England. But nice finish there by McLaughlin.
McLaughlin now with 9. Bello so far with 14. Goes to Battle, who has 21, matching his number. Battle airballs, loose ball grabbed by Bello, and he'll go to the free throw line for a 1-and-1.
And now that is Maine's 4th foul.
Take a look at the replay of this foul, Coach. Big battle down there.
Well, and we were talking about how physical the Bobcats are and how they just grinded on you. And those big old bodies, they just wear you out.
They had reported that was the 6th foul beforehand. This should be the 7th, as it's listed the 7th team foul against NAU. Maybe indeed it is at 6. The board said 6 before that last foul.
I don't know why they just don't give you a whistle and just kind of depend on you a little bit more.
3 ball good. Darius Brown, 3rd team All Big Sky. Nearly a triple-double against Weber State. That was earlier in the season. He had his 500th assist earlier this year as well. A do-it-all kind of player.
He had 16 assists in one game this year, which is the most in the Big Sky. Then he had 2 other games where he had double-digit assists, 12 and 10.
Wistersill and the foul. The freshman with a timely bucket here as NAU is trying to hang in there.
And what a pass by the big fella that I've been talking about all night, Carson Tout. A little wrap around there. He looked like he was about 6'2" there. One of the best passing big guys in the entire league. In fact, he is 10th in the league in assists, 5th in assist to turnover ratio.
Well short on the free throw. The lead is back to single digits. Makes you wonder who's going to make that next run. Who's going to throw that next big punch here? Brown cut off by Cone. Bello will now give to Ford. A bounce pass across the court goes to Battle. Move it around here on this possession. Goes down to 6. And now that foul will be on Wistersill. That indeed will put Montana State to the free throw line.
Well, Montana State's so big and strong and athletic. When they run that shot clock down, you just got to expect they're going to put their head down and bring it at you. They're playing with their 2 point guards now. Caleb Fuller, 6'5", 210, is kind of a tough matchup for a lot of smaller 3 men in this league. But like I say, once they get that ball moved around and it gets single digits on the shot clock, you just got to anticipate them bringing it right at you. In fact, Fuller now playing as their power forward with Raekwon Battle in as their 3 and Brown and Ford who are both point guards playing together.
Caleb Fuller for the block to seal the deal in the semifinals last night. He makes both free throws. And now so far tonight, it's the Montana State Bobcats who have a combined 50 of their 62 points at the free throw line or in the paint. Fuller is in the paint. Can't finish on the drive.
Big Jabril Bello with those long arms and that big body coming from the weak side to make Fuller think twice about that. Fuller kind of faded away and tried a high arching shot off the glass. Just not quite enough. Bello, last year's Defensive Player of the Year.
Ford tied up. It's a jump ball. And this one will go to NAU. They'll take stops any way they can get them here, Coach, as you can start to feel Montana State flexing their muscles more and more.
11-point lead with just under 9 left. What's hurt them a little bit, what will hurt the Lumberjacks a little bit too, without Nick Maines in there, who can give them a boost shooting the ball wise with 4 fouls. I don't think Coach Burkar will leave him on the bench a whole lot longer.
Cone running all over the map. Gets the catch and is picked up by Bello. It'll go to Tout. Goes outside for McLaughlin. He's knocked down a couple today. He's bumped by Raekwon Battle. That will be the 6th team foul now against Montana State.
Tout is such a good passer out of the post. His teammates know it, Tony. A lot of times when the ball gets fed to the post, guys will kind of stand around and wait to see what the post guy does. And this day and age, they back down, back down. NAU, when they throw it to the post, boy, they really get moving around him, especially Cone. He usually gets a couple buckets a game moving around Tout in the post. As I told you, Robert Ford III, watch the way he is face guarding Cone now. Look away from the ball, look way out on the court, and look at Ford just all over Cone.
And one for Carson Tout. He had to work hard to get that one. 16 points for him. And he has a chance to cut it down to 8 at the free throw line.
Well, teams back off of him at 15. They know he's not going to shoot it, but watch him back in, watch his chin off his chest. Just sawmill strong around that basket. Carson Tout has had a fabulous Big Sky tournament.
4 fouls now on Jabril Bello. Great Osibor in the game.
Both teams with foul trouble along that front line, which doesn't surprise me.
Northern Arizona shooting 80% from the free throw line during the tournament. Carson Tout, though, guy who struggles from that area. 8 of 11 from the field. It's a 9-point game.
Both teams playing small now, with both teams playing both their point guards and only one center, with kind of 4 smaller guys around him.
Osibor to work with the clock winding down. And before he has to hurry, a foul is called. It'll send him to the line for a 1-and-1 when we come back. The Bobcats by 9 here in Boise.
To shave or not to shave? Shave. It's true.
Game on.
Red Wings.
Making his way in on goal. Dylan Larkin.
Come to Champ Week.
This is it. No more chances. Tomorrow's.
There's never been a better time to get away with a great deal on the hunt.
In March, we move up ladders and into.
What makes this time special? Have you ever seen an entire...
There's never been a better time to get away with a great deal on the hunt.
Why are you so upset?
You know, I am upset.
It's just a little tight. Makes me feel husky.
For 46 years straight, more of you have trusted Ford F-Series.
It's just a little tight. Makes me feel husky.
Wow, let's take a closer, what the?
Her release speed deviated only point.
Game on.
What if you were a gigantic snack food maker and you had to wrestle a massive...
There's never been a better time to get away with a great deal on the hunt.
So it's a little tight. Makes me feel husky.
When it's tournament time, we don't go big. We go bigger.
Join me for the least athletic event of the year, the Oscars.
Who will triumph?
Championship Saturday begins tonight at 6, then continues tomorrow on ESPN. Championship Saturday begins tonight at 6, then continues tomorrow on ESPN.
Top by 9 over Northern Arizona here tonight in the Big Sky Men's Basketball Championship game. Alongside Joe Cravens, I'm Tony Parks. And Coach, Montana State continuing to get those deep catches, getting Northern Arizona in foul trouble. Carson Tout now with 4 fouls. Just muscling their way closer and closer towards their second consecutive tournament title.
Well, for the Lumberjacks, Tout with 4 fouls, Maines with 4 fouls, Wistersill with 3 fouls, McLaughlin with 3 fouls. The Bobcats shot 26 free throws last night, Tony. They're setting on 18 of 22 right now, with Osibor getting a 1-and-1. That number of free throws just shows you what I continue to talk about, is how they just attack the paint, how they just force the ball into that low block, big and strong, not just with the 2 big guys, but with guys like Caleb Fuller, with Darius Brown, who is really strong, 6'2", 195. And to beat him, you're going to have to keep him off the free throw line, and no one's been able to do that here in the conference tournament yet.
Oakland Fort draws the foul. We'll get a couple of free throws. Raekwon Battle shaken up. Let's take a look at this, Coach.
Watch Fort lead with his body here, and I don't think he was trying to hurt anyone, but he leaned in.
Danny Sprinkle and the Montana State staff wants them to review it.
I think that was just a little guy trying to protect the ball. Remember, that is a 5'10" point guard going against a pretty big time athlete in Raekwon Battle, 6'5" and long arms. So I guess we're going to go review it. Raekwon Battle is stuck on 21 points, only 5 in this second half.
He got inside of him. You see him lean in and over. There's no doubt about that. Montana State's players, the bench, everybody exploded. They felt that this was dangerous enough for them to take a look at this. This would be a big moment here. If indeed this got turned over,
would be big.
Ended up being something other than what was called on the floor. NAU needs every inch they can get.
That's what I was going to say. It'll be a big moment if Fort does not get to the free throw line and gets to shoot. So that takes, a possible 2 points off the scoreboard for the Lumberjacks. And as you said, they need every scoring opportunity they can, down 64-53, 11 points.
Danny Sprinkle was all over that. A guy, by the way, who has coached or played in 7 conference championship games.
Well, he's got a very interesting bio. Took the Bobcats to the NCAA last year as a coach. The only time they had gone, or the last time they had gone before that to the NCAA, was when Danny Sprinkle was the MVP of this tournament as a freshman. Mick Durham, the all-time winningest coach at one time, right, in the Big Sky, still at Montana State, won that conference tournament championship in Bozeman, beating my Idaho team in the semifinals.
It stays as a defensive foul against Raekwon Battle. Fort will go to the line. You were talking about Danny Sprinkle. As Montana State's second straight year, they've had the first team all-conference player, 6th man, and defensive player of the year. 8 of the 14 players on his team had a career high this year. He elevates the individual, and their goals are congruent with what the team is trying to accomplish. So 2 free throws for Oakland Fort, a freshman from Phoenix. By the way, Oakland Fort his first free throw attempts here in a long time. He had just 2 free throw attempts since January 14th coming into tonight. He's a quality free throw shooter, 82%.
Well, I thought that was the right call. I don't think there was anything intentional about that contact. Pretty good officiating group here. Sean Lehigh, Randy Richardson, Casey McClellan. Randy Richardson, it's his 2nd year in a row to referee the championship game.
Osobor against Maines. Maines with 4 fouls. And Osobor misses an easy one. Loose ball foul. It's going to be called against Osobor.
Osobor's having an awful time making that ball go down. That's 3. Remember, he missed 2 in the first half right at the rim. He had 15 points last night in that double overtime game on 6 of 7 from the field. And he just cannot make one go in right there at the rim tonight.
1 of 6.
I would say that qualifies for struggling to not make one go in.
Maines hitting the front end of the 1-and-1. Yeah, what a big moment there. He misses ones from point-blank range. Then the foul to send quality free throw shooter to the line, Nick Maines, whose brother Jordan plays at Arizona. Makes them both.
This is Nick Maines' 150th game, which is more than anyone in a Lumberjack uniform.
Northern Arizona has hit 4 of their last 5. Montana State has yet to hit a field goal in over 3 minutes.
The Lumberjacks coming out with a really hard press, a hard first trap. It's really hard to trap these Bobcats with both those point guards on the floor because they just get it and blow by you just exactly like Ford did.
Lead whittled down to 7. Osobor lost it, got it back. Somehow finished that one. Well, the toughest one he got to go down.
The Lumberjacks have chosen not to come double there, and I kind of understand that. But once he puts it on the floor the second time, they may want to decide they want to come make it just a little bit tougher on him.
Great defense, Caleb Fuller. And he's called for the blocking foul here.
Great Osobor here. He's had about 3 right at the rim. He couldn't make go in. He almost shot this one with his elbow as he just barely got it up. That's the hardest shot he's had all night. He was 1 for 6 before that one.
Still does have 7 rebounds, and he's also 5 of 8 from the free throw line. Bello out of the game with 4 fouls. On the other side, Tout with 4. Maines with 4. Oakland Fort, 3 of 3 now from the stripe.
Jalen Cone 3 of 8 with just 7 points. And as I said, these 2 Montana State guards, Ford and Brown, have just made life miserable for him. Just right up in his grill anytime he is in the half-court offensive situation.
Oh, a tough foul here. This is about 90 feet from the basket. Frustrating for Coach Shane Burkar.
Randy Richardson, though, right there on top of the call. So it's not like he made that from across the court. And as I say, this is Randy's 2nd Big Sky championship. He's done a really nice job. He's been here multiple games this week.
That'll send Darius Brown to the free throw line. Coach Sprinkle's so happy with him this year. He said scores 2 points. He's the happiest guy in the locker room. You can be the happiest guy during March. This March being here, and ESPN Tournament Challenge is back. Scan the QR code there, Coach, to download the app. Play the #1 bracket game. Create a group, invite your friends, and get ready for the madness.
9 points now for Darius Brown, who had 11 rebounds last night and 6 assists. Boy, he is my type of point guard. That big, strong body, and he plays to a certain tempo, and you can't get him out of that tempo.
Cone finds an open Oakland Fort. His first field goal of the game. He has 9 points here tonight. The lead is down to 6. A loose ball. It's Fuller. McLaughlin almost cut the lead in half.
NAU's getting a little bit of mileage out of that full court press. That wasn't a steal. The Bobcats just turned and threw it to nobody. Boy, that would have been a huge momentum shift there if that would have cut that lead from 6 to 3.
Maines with those 4 fouls defending Osobor. The double comes. Fuller nearly gets the takeaway. Brown across the river for Ford. He left it short, but online he gets the O board.
See, that time, instead of letting Alcibar just have his way and back in, they chose to come double it and then rotate. Nice job of rotation, and they couldn't finish the deal by getting the defensive rebound.
What a take by Darius Brown. He's the defensive player of the year, but he's come up with some timely offensive plays here tonight. He has 11.
1,000 points, 500 assists in Darius Brown's career.
Jalen Cone lost it a bit, got it back, bucket, and the foul. He's a special player, and they've held him down for a number of moments here tonight. As long as there's time on the clock, you know he can heat up.
Watch the way he gets up. I'm telling you, he can jump about 3 feet straight up in the air, and he does that on his jump shot as well. He has a beautiful release on his jump shot, but I'm not sure I've ever seen anyone elevate on his jump shot like Jalen Cone. Second best three-point shooter in the league, 5th leading scorer. He's the 2nd best free throw shooter, 85% free throw shooter.
Proud of his academics as well. He's also all academic in the ACC. Led the ACC in three-point percentage in one of those seasons while he was there with Virginia Tech. Under 5 minutes to play. It is a 5-point game for the Big Sky Championship.
And the Lumberjacks not coming with that hard trap there that they had a couple times. They've kind of showed a little press and then backed it up. Now back into this 2-3 zone. The bad thing about this zone is they don't rebound near as well out of that as their man-to-man. Wow.
Three-pointer and the foul. A sensational player now with 24.
His 29th double-figure game of the year. He has a season high, Tony, of 32. He's knocking on the door of that now. Look the way he elevated in those long arms. McLaughlin, pretty good defense there. And Raekwon Battle, first team all-league. One of the most exciting athletic wings in the league, if not the most athletic wing in the league. And that was huge. That was huge.
Northern Arizona has made 6 of their last 8. They were chipping away at this lead, but it's back to 9 now. Cone lost it. Fended off. No call.
Great individual defense there by Brown.
Gets inside, and Oakland Fort in double digits again, now with 11. That has been a regularity for him in this tournament.
3 out of 4 games. Oakland Fort, who only had 3 double-digit games in the entire year, has really come of age here in this conference tournament. Bobcats aren't out of the woods yet. 7-point lead with 3.5 to go. A stop here would go a long way to chip into that lead.
Patient possession, but it's Raekwon Battle. Under 5, he's still dangerous. From way outside, had it stripped. Long pass from Fort, too far for Fuller. Montana State will have it back. The Bobcats up by 7. We're getting late here in Boise for the Big Sky.
Wow, let's take a closer, what the?
Her release speed deviated only point.
When it's tournament time, we don't go big. We go bigger.
Hey, Otto!
No.
Otto.
You don't hear that name very often. I do.
Game on.
This event gets better every year, and the buzzing with excitement right now.
Game on. When it's tournament time, we don't go big. We go bigger.
For 46 years straight, more of you have trusted Ford F-Series.
When it's tournament time, we don't go big. We go bigger.
At Jersey Mike's, they freshly slice your sub right in front of you, which takes some.
There's never been a better time to get away with a great deal on the hunt.
Wow, let's take a closer, what the?
Her release speed deviated only point.
Game
on.
When it's tournament time, we don't go big. We go bigger.
Game on.
For 46 years straight, more of you have trusted Ford F-Series.
When it's tournament time, we don't go big. We go bigger. I'm light as a feather, I'm light as a feather, yeah, baby, I float. It's hard to...
What makes this time special?
Business. Montana State here tonight in the lead, up by 7, trying to take care of business here at the end of regulation to seal the deal for back-to-back conference championships. And a missed opportunity there for Northern Arizona, who had a run out and a pass too far for Xavier Fuller.
Boy, that was a golden opportunity to steal off of that three-point shot attempt. Of course, the Montana State bench wanted a foul on that, but that was an easy 2 at the other end had that pass not been overthrown. Raekwon Battle leading all scorers with 25, Tony, his 11th 20-plus scoring game of the year. And the Lumberjacks with 4 guys in double figures and 1 with 9. Just haven't been able really to overcome that slow start where they turned it over, and then the second half, remember, they had 4 possessions where they turned it over 4 straight times. And you just can't do that against the number 2 seed and as good as the Bobcats are and get away with it.
Montana State to take their time here. Bello back in the game after being out for a bit with 4 fouls. Darius Brown to orchestrate the offense. Raekwon Battle, who has 25, a foul away from the ball, and that's huge. 2 free throws now. It will be set up for Robert Ford III. And this foul is on Carson Tout. That is his 5th.
Well, what a great tournament this kid has had.
Been amazing.
He really has. He has really come of age, I think, in this tournament. Montana State coming out of that timeout, Tony, with what's called a flex offense. And, boy, that is old school as old school can be there. Danny Sprinkle using it, I think, to kind of tempo the game, run the clock a little bit. I hadn't seen anyone. The flex is a continuity offense that every old coach in America has seen before, but I've not seen it for a while. Danny Sprinkle digging way into his coaching bag of tricks there.
Carson Tout, who you're talking about a bit earlier, guy with 16 points, 9 rebounds tonight. There's Danny Sprinkle, former Bobcat himself. He was the freshman of the year. He helped them to the NCAA tournament in 1996. They hadn't been back until last season, and he helped lead them there. And they won the conference title right here on this court. They have a 9-point lead with under 3 minutes to go.
This would be back-to-back NCAA tournaments for the Bobcats if they can hang on.
Ball gets away, but Fort recollects. Fragile possessions from here on out. Cone rises and fires, can't get it. Fort on the putback, no. A big defensive rebound by Caleb Fuller. Long pass up ahead to Patterson, but they'll take their time.
They'll really run this down probably to under 10, maybe even under 5. Watch Brown very smartly creating space and bringing it out to run a little bit more clock.
A timeout by Montana State. 2:16 left. Boy, Montana State, if there's one thing they can do well, it's seal the deal.
Well, you know what's really amazing? They have shown no sign of fatigue, Tony. I really thought they would have heavy legs here after playing 50 minutes last night. And, I mean, they had some guys. Darius Brown played almost the entire time. Battle played big minutes. Bello played big minutes. And Danny Sprinkle has done a great job of rotating those guys in and out. And to me, they have shown absolutely no sign of fatigue. And again, that was less than 24 hours ago that they went, and that wasn't just a double overtime game. That was a double overtime gang fight last night. I'm telling you, that was as rough a college game as I've ever seen. I called it a beautiful, ugly game because you just had to admire the competitive spirit of both teams. Weber State just fighting the Bobcats all the way for those 50 minutes.
For most of that game, it felt like better discipline and great defense than it was bad offense. Here's a key offensive possession for the Bobcats. Brown goes to the corner. Robert Ford III, a 27% three-point shooter, puts his team up 12.
What a great find for Brown, getting to the paint, jump stopping, keeping his balance, surveying the floor, and finding Ford.
Lumberjacks cut it to 10 with this Fuller bucket, and it's somebody on the ground right now. I think that's Caleb Fuller.
Watch this
Take
great,
a look at that three-pointer.
Excuse me, Tony. Watch this great balance by Darius Brown, getting to the paint, doing almost a 180, finding Ford at that three-point line. That was huge to build a 10-point lead now with under 10 minutes left, or 2 minutes left, excuse me.
Well, we know Raekwon Battle has led the scoring, 25 points. We know about the work that Bello has done there in the paint. And then it comes with the first field goal make of the night for Robert Ford III. And that one putting a huge dent in the chances here for Northern Arizona. 10-point game.
I don't think NAU can come back and win this, but they are going to gain a wealth of momentum going into next year. Been so close, and so many 1-2 point losses to come in here and to win 3, to beat the #1 seeded team. Like I say, that's going to be a lot of momentum going into next year.
Brown has to heave it up. Ooh, and a loose ball foul here against Montana State. It'll stop the clock here with 1:17.
Fuller continues to compete and play hard. He is coming off 3 straight double-digit games in this tournament, averaging 7 rebounds, very close to 2 double-doubles, 9 rebounds, 8 rebounds.
Jabril Bello fouls out here with 14 points. When you talk about the way he played tonight and the way he played last night, you wouldn't look at some of those stats and say, well, that's an MVP performance. But you could sense his leadership and his top-level play to control so much of the game.
Well, he was last year's MVP and Defensive Player of the Year, second team All-League this year, and people think he didn't have a very good year because he was picked as a preseason Player of the Year. The dynamics of the talent in the league changes every year, and he may have not had as good a year, but he had an awfully good year the way it was to get to be the second team member in the Big Sky this year. He has had a fabulous career at Montana State.
Boy, a key play in this game as Northern Arizona was starting to climb back. And Montana State was able to get a big shot at a Raekwon Battle and the foul, a 4-point play that helped get that lead back to where it usually has been for Montana State, which is right around double digits all night.
And it wasn't like he was standing out there all by himself. McLaughlin was on him like ugly on an 8, and he just, with that great length and great athleticism, he just rolls up over McLaughlin. I think he'll be the tournament MVP, don't you, Tony? Battle?
Oh, I think it has to be. And last night, I talked about this before, in a game where points were at a premium, everybody was exhausted. Shots were tough to hit. Montana State did plenty to get it in the post a lot. But when you needed somebody to hit a shot, he was the guy. In the final 13 minutes and 26 seconds of that game, one Montana State player had a field goal. That was Raekwon Battle.
Well, of course, he had the game winner on that alley-oop dunk, but he hit, I know the jump shot you're talking about. They set a little diagonal rub screen for him, and just like that jump shot, he caught it with guys around him and just rose up and hit a huge three-pointer late in that game.
Yeah.
That was as competitive a game as I've seen for a long time.
And being here courtside, you didn't feel guys were going to hit shots, but he hit every one of their field goals in that last 13-26. Big inbound. Goes to Battle. Darius Brown still in the backcourt. Gets it across midcourt with some time to spare.
So strong with the ball is Darius Brown.
Caleb Fuller. No, can't get the N1. A very important trip to the line for him. 89.5% from the stripe.
He's been a real nice pickup for this team, too. He's a transfer from UC Davis, the third Englishman, as I'd mentioned, on this team. Big, strong body, usually a defender rebounder, but he's had a couple nice scoring games in this tournament as well. Montana State shooting 50% here in the second half and is 15 for 17 from the free throw line, 4 or 5 from the three-point shooting. So, well, I've talked all night about them getting the ball inside and playing big, strong post-type offense. They're shooting it in from the perimeter pretty well as well.
So Nick Maines has now fouled out. Carson Tout has fouled out. Caleb Fuller to the free throw line.
Nick Maines has written his name all over the record book there for NAU basketball. He's had a wonderful career.
First free throw no good. It has to be pointed out that while the Oakland Fort heroic three-pointer and the comeback for NAU was exciting, part of the recipe was Eastern Washington missing key free throws. Here's an 0 for 2 trip and a gift for NAU that they'll try to take advantage of. They have to go quick. Under a minute to play, they're down by 8. Jalen Cone pushes off, no call, rises and fires for 3, no good. Patterson with a tough rebound. Foul is called, or do they have a jump? A discussion. It's a jump, and it goes to Montana State anyway.
What a nice rebound for Patterson, a guy who normally is not involved with that rebounding, but at 6'8", long arms, and he's been around for a long time.
Fuller beat the pressure with the dribble. Give it to Darius Brown. Trapped. They also have 1 timeout remaining. He's fouled with 36 seconds to go here. That would have been a big 3 to hit to keep their chances alive, but Montana State getting the key stops at the key moments, getting to the free throw line and in the paint all night long. They've moved their way to a prime situation late in this second half.
Well, these 2 point guards have played just terrific together in the last 2 games. I'm speaking of Brown and Ford, and then Caleb Fuller just showing all kinds of experience there on that press attack, bringing it up, coming to a jump stop, being strong with the basketball. And it appears that the Bobcats are going to win back-to-back conference tournaments, which hadn't been done for a bit.
Oakland Fort cuts it down to 7 with that three-pointer. Quick timeout, Northern Arizona.
Well, look at the Northern Arizona bench. No, look at them over there. They believe. I tell you, they believe.
We know better.
Coach Burkar has done a great job. As you said, boy, this team could have hung their head and kind of thrown in the towel a long time ago this season. 5 one-point losses, one more heartbreaking than the other. And they have come in here and just shocked the Big Sky with how well they have played.
Most conference wins since 2010. They had their first trip just to the semis since 2015. It's their first finals appearance since 2008. It's more than that, single-digit number of total wins throughout the whole year, and then only 5 in the regular season for the conference. Coming into this tournament, they were the surprise story, the Cinderella indeed.
Well, they've got
so many in the nation fallen in love with them, especially the Oakland Fort game-winning 3.
They've got a good group coming back. They'll be like a good baseball team. They'll be strong up the middle next year with Cone and Tout both back. Fort's back. They've got a good core group coming back. I'm sure they'll add guys to it.
Darius Brown is fouled, as they were hoping defensively, either for a jump ball maybe, or for no foul to be called, as they were working their way to a potential 10-second violation. But foul is called and Brown will go to the line.
There's Brown at 6'2", 195, is strong, smart, and he is tough as a pine knot as well. Boy, I tell you, he deals out a lot of physicality. And You never see him get out of sorts, never see him get out of control. He has been a terrific pickup for this Montana State team.
5 of 5 from the line, now make it 6 of 6. He has missed just 1 free throw since January 12th. Jalen Cone gets that one last time out, Northern Arizona.
They're going to play it out all the way to the end. As I say, Coach Burkar, just no give up, no quit in that staff or on that team. And watch, they're still enthusiastic over there.
Well, they've been through it all, Coach.
Yes, they have.
They've been up in this situation and down in this situation. They've had games taken away at the final moments, and they've stolen games away in the final moments.
Well, I know this. They sent the #1 seed home on one of the most electrifying comebacks I've seen for a long time. What they've done in this tournament, they will take a whole lot of momentum and positive feelings into the offseason on into next year. I think this is the next big step for Coach Burkar in building this program and being a real contender in the Big Sky.
This conference can be incredibly deep already. Now a team that was always towards the bottom. You're right, they're going to be tough to deal with. Here's a steal by Lloyd, and they stepped out of bounds. He's going to ask them to review this. This will be a big takeaway, Coach. And once again, they run through the finish line. They don't.
Let's see if we can pick it up here on the camera. Sean Lehigh right there on top of the play. Well, I don't know. Didn't look like he went out of bounds.
Didn't have the cleanest look there for a moment as the baseline disappears, as well as his foot. Ruling on the floor was that he was out of bounds. I'll take a long look at this one.
If he did not step out of bounds, it's going to be their ball out running an end out of bounds play. They may be able to knock in a 3-pointer here off that end out of bounds play to make it a 2-possession game. And then stranger things have happened.
Here's the best look at it right here. Yeah, you can't
quite tell.
Well, now you have a good stop there. So that does show room between his foot and the baseline.
Well, again, if it's a Lumberjacks ball, they have the potential here, or the situation, that they could score, hit a 3-pointer, run a play, and it'd be down to a 2-possession game with over 10 seconds left. Then you play the foul game, and we have seen one upset this year already, or this tournament, Tony, where missed free throws played a huge part of it in the last 4 or 5 seconds.
Liam Lloyd, who is right there trying to get that takeaway. Lloyd, the sophomore from Spokane. His dad, Tommy, the head coach at Arizona. A young man that had a great 3-point shooting season when he was with Grand Canyon. Although didn't play the most minutes, but he was a part of that team that went to the NCAA tournament. That is towards the back part of this play. The one thing there, Coach, is as his foot comes to a stop, you cannot see how far it slides before repositioning. To me, I've got enough to overturn it. But yeah, right there, you cannot see where it stops.
Whoa, what great camera work. Good job, guys. I think there was a penny down there. I'll go get that in a minute. That was. If Montana State holds on to win, it will be their 8th straight win, and they will have won 17 of their last 19 games.
Another look. Liam Lloyd, right here, see his foot slides just a bit. I've got enough evidence to overturn it. I would give this ball to Northern Arizona.
I said, I just can't understand why they don't give you a whistle and let you participate in all of this. You've got that real deceptive eye of an official.
Having been a former official, which I know you definitely look down on. You made that very clear to me before. You've had your
and you're a
opinion.
Cubs fan. I mean, how could we even possibly work together with you being an official and a Cubs fan?
Well, you listed off your things that are a part of whether or not somebody can date one of your daughters. It's International Women's Day, and you had very strong rules.
No officials and no Cubs fans.
Or former officials.
Or former officials. So don't show up on my doorstep.
And so the ball will go to Northern Arizona.
See if they can get a quick three. Nice call. That is out of bounds play.
Oh. Runs off the rim. No good. Big rebound. Fuller. Fuller away from some defense. He is fouled. Xavier Fuller.
A little screen, re-screen there coming out of that end out of bounds play. I really liked the play, but McLaughlin couldn't make it go down. Boy, it rattled around. That was a terrific play for a three-point shot by Coach McCarr from the sideline. If that had gone in, Tony, as I said, that had been a two-possession game.
Right. Well, you definitely would need another takeaway somewhere. It would still be a miracle that would need to take place. No timeouts. And if Caleb Fuller can hit this one here, pretty much wraps it up. Three-possession game. Caleb Fuller with 12. Montana State, who had a loss at Weber State, they gave up a 12-0 run in the second half. A foul here on a three. This will be called against Darius Brown. And you know Coach Sprinkle is as fiery and as competitive as anybody. His team is well out in front here.
Well,
he's still all
I don't
over
think
the
he got him with the hand, but I think he hipped him there. I think he got him with the body there. Why as smart and as savvy as Darius Brown is, I'm not sure why he even got a hand up there. Just get out of the way almost.
Full three-possession game, so it would have to be all three made free throws. A steal, a three, a steal, and a three. That's a 5.7.
This has been the longest last 15 seconds that I think we've had in this tournament anyway. The officials may be getting paid by the hour here on this one. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to get it to
the last day of the tournament.
Yeah, a little overtime or something.
Well, Jalen Cone has been fabulous for this program. He was dedicated to changing the culture at NAU. And during the toughest times, when this team was losing those close games, and even in previous times, Coach, when they were being beaten soundly, he was as optimistic as anybody. And it wasn't false confidence. It was true, genuine belief that this group of guys was the right group of guys. And they made a run all the way to the championship game. Long court pass, Raekwon Battle, he'll run it out. It ends here for Northern Arizona. But for Montana State, for the first time in program history, they go back-to-back conference championship right here for the Bobcats, and they return to the NCAA tournament.
What a thrill for these Montana State players. As I said, Northern Arizona will take home a whole lot of momentum and good feelings, winning 3 games here, getting all the way to the championship game, Tony, for the first time since 2008. So it's been a long time since they've had this level of success here in postseason.
History, drama, feel-good stories, unexpected things happening left and right, and it all culminates to the team that finished out on top, doing it once again. 15-3 during the conference year, and 8 wins in a row to wrap things up. Danny Sprinkle said he wanted his vision and his goal to help his guys experience their dreams, both personally, academically, and athletically. He said part of that is to see them run on that blue carpet for the NCAA tournament. He helps them do that once again. They lost 3 starters a year ago. 3 important key players. And the depth of that team last year, where 2s became 1s, started to show up really, really well.
Well, they had to replace 3 starters. They were still picked #1, so congratulations to the Bobcats.
That's going to do it for us tonight. For Joe Cravens, I'm Tony Park saying so long from Boise. The final score once again, Montana State 85, Northern Arizona 78. A reminder, all games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.